On Viewpoints on independent television, we trail the response of respondents on the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America. Come along with us.
Donald Trump, the 45th and 47th American President, is welcome. I thank God for his victory. I think first and foremost, the Africans should be happy having him as the President of America today. The Africans, particularly Nigeria, that are against this issue of gay marriage, I think for the first time we have a leader, an American leader, that is ready to take the same position with Africa, particularly Nigeria. Particularly Nigeria. No religious organization, be it a Muslim, Christian, the traditionalist, that it is support of gay marriage. And for somebody like him to have stood his ground against it, I think it's a plus for the Africans. And having said that, I think we should also look at the immigration reforms. There are going to be, there are some positive effects and we will also have some negative effects on Africans and Nigeria in particular. For economic growth, I think Africans will still have some leverage, will still have some energy dominance. Americans actually wants to dominate the world in the area of energy and tax cuts. I think as part of his agenda, his program, he is willing to reduce tax. The Nigerians over there will also benefit from that. Then as part of his program, as part of his agenda, is national security. You know, security is one of the challenges that Nigerians are facing as we speak. Security is one of the problems that Nigerians are facing. This issue of militants, Boko Harams, and all that. So, and I know they should be able to work hand in hand with Africans, particularly Nigerians, to tackle this menace, because it's a very ugly thing. And I know Nigerians will be able to benefit from that. However, it should also be noted that we are still going to face some challenges because they have this mentality. It's not like bidding. Donald Trump has this mentality of American first, seeing every other nationality, particularly the blacks and Nigerians, as lesser being. So we are still going to face challenges like that. Then if you also look at this issue of climate change that just came up now and is withdrawing from this climate change agreement, it will make many African countries vulnerable to the problems of climate change.
Donald Trump being president, it's a good thing, and I would say it's a good thing that have happened to the world. He had actually been president before, was 45th president, and he lost to Joe Biden, and eventually now he's back again to the Oval Office in the White House. Donald Trump's presidency is going to witness a lot of things because obviously you see all this, the executive order he has already issued out. Why? On the issue of gays and lesbians, transgender and all whatnot. So that we should stick to who we are, and identity should not be an issue of creation of thoughts or whatever orientation you so subscribe to. But he has said this is not what is, or should be in the order of the day. I think I support him to a great extent. It has created a lot of crisis globally, and it has also become a way wherein some of these Western countries encourage the young, downtrodden countries like back down in Africa to come back or come over, or we can, on that note, if you decide to do this. Anyway, that's not our talk. Now, looking at the bigger picture of him being president, it's believed that every American president is the president of the world, and that cannot be wished away. And Donald Trump's presidency will not be anything short of that. And we know very well, over time, he had proven himself to be a man of his words. And he has run successful business. That suggests to say he will know how to manage the economy. Most of the time, politicians get into power, they are unable to do much because they don't know much about economics. You need to know much about how economics run. Look at the billionaire Elon Musk and so many, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. These are great billionaires and great investors that are all his cronies and allies, and they are going to join force with him and to ensure that a whole lot of things go well. Now, coming back to security in the world, as it were, we know the Ukraine and Russia war have been on. The Biden's administration have continued to sponsor, support the Ukrainian folks against the Russian, and we know the relationship Donald J. Trump had with, or he is having with, the Russian president Vladimir Putin, and these are many reasons why we believe that he has said he don't want people to keep dying. He wants the people to stop dying. He wants people to stop being killed, so to speak. They want the stopping of killing people so that people will not live in peace. I believe the Donald Trump's government will see to this that this war is brought to an end, because he just said it's just a way of wasting resources. We should channel it to other things. And the Hamas-Israeli war, all of this will be a thing that he will be able to come into. We agree that his sentiments for Christian faith and believing the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, having to say that Israel is home for all Christians, but at the same time, he will also not, throw caution into the wind by not doing the needful. Israel will not become an aggressor or a terrorist country, or under the guise of maybe we are trying to defend ourselves. These are some of the issues that I believe he's going to look carefully, and it's not going to be very easy, but I know he was going to pull through. And you also understand that become the global age. It's going to do so much in that context, in that sense of it. Now, if you look at this time and how they have how the society have been run over time, the American people, a lot of the economy have gone down. America have been taken for granted this insecurity around the border region. You see, now he's trying to ensure security. I know back home, Africans don't want that. They say, well, it will be difficult to get into the United States. I don't think so. If you have any legitimate reasons for traveling to the United States, obviously you'll be granted access. Nobody's denying you access, but illegal immigration and wrong people coming around, and America should not be, susceptible to attack, because we just want people to come in the way it has been prior to now. So Donald Trump has said no, it's not going to be business as usual again.
Donald Trump is a man that I've always loved. I like his way, my personal opinion. If it's correct, what I heard is like he said he invited our President Tinubu for a discussion. For me, I would advise that our president should not turn down that invitation. You should see him, because even in our adage, they said those that call somebody who invited you have more sense than you that is invited you. So you never can tell why he's inviting you. If the both of them meet and actually they don't like what he suggests to him, not just stop him from even refusing all the requests. So seeing him first is the first thing first. So that is my whole point. Then two, it has positive and negative issues. There was one particular one I was not quite comfortable with when I go through it, that he is going to stop birth citizenship. For me, I'm not quite comfortable with that. So, because if you stop birth citizenship, it's going to affect children yet unborn. For instance, I'm begging that God, I will raise up my grandchildren from America too. So is it that now that it's my turn that he's going to stop that? That has been there. So he should allow it to go, to flow. So, and then he was talking about deportation of illegal immigrants. To me, no matter how we like it, once you enter America, you would have spent a lot of money, no matter how you look at it, no matter whether legal or illegal. So I think America is to be a father to all nations. So whoever who enter there by way of illegal, they should make it legal, rather than say you're going to do mass deportation of illegal immigrants. So that is my point. So I think that is all I have for now. But it should encourage people, should give them, because what's stopping from say even open border for Nigeria to come in, as difficult as Nigeria is now, nothing too bad on that. For intervening now, I really praise you for that. In fact, it's the best that he has even done for now, because that war had been going on for quite a long time, and that he be able to just step in now to say this thing should stop. Yes, because human being life, we are human being. Lives are here and there. It's going away. So I think I praise you for that very well.
What I look at and what I'm seeing personally, on my own personal view, as regard as United States president policy. Anyway, Donald Trump has been there before now, and he has good intentions, and he's there again, and I believe his policies is going to base on godly matters, godly issues. He's godly, and his politics is going to be so interesting that it will affect the global positively. I am very sure, I'm convinced about that. Most of his policies I've been able to follow up. It's not bad. It's not bad, and I also believe his policies affecting the global will also make a good input in our nation, Nigeria. The president, Mohammed Bola, I think he's going to learn a lot of things from the policies of Donald Trump and reset our nation, Nigeria. There are something I want to also point here: the war between Ukraine and Russia. I think Donald Trump is going to do a very good bargain to make sure he ends that war. I am very optimistic about that. And also, when we talk about where it will affect Nigeria, I also want to say that President Tinubu, in the area of becoming a partner to the BRICS, I think what is good of President Tinubu should be not to be a partner, but possibly to be a member. And by this, we can be able to look forward to see that our country, very important, Nigeria, is going to be resetted. I want to say to Donald Trump, good luck. And I want to believe, even if most of his policies, just like what happened a few days ago in the area of gender issues, I think godly, he is saying it's only two genders, female and male. So the issue of marrying man is demonic, and he knows that very well. And if he can end it, I think he has done a great thing. Even though he's not contesting again after now, whomever comes in can also change it. But he has showed to the whole world that yes, he's godly. So I wish him the best, and I believe most of the policies should also affect our nation, Nigeria, politically, economically, and otherwise positively.
Looking at the second coming of Donald Trump as American president and the leader of one of the leaders of the world leaders, a number of things comes to mind. You need to look at his economic policies vis-a-vis the position of blacks, or black Americans and black nations. And then you look at his general policies, because when America takes decisions politically and socially, it affects the world round. In the first coming of Donald Trump, he said that he was giving America back to Americans. In other words, he recognizes the fact that there are too many infiltration of external forces into America's political decision making, and that America need to be fully in charge. He actually worked in that direction, and there was a lot of policies in his first tenure that didn't quite favor the black nations and blacks in America. But then, considering the development after his first tenure, he struggled to remain in power after leaving power. My belief is that Trump has learned some lessons. He has realized that other people are equally important. But naturally, Trump is a stubborn leader. This time around, he has said that he's going to protect the blacks, and the black jobs will be reserved for blacks. He also did another thing that makes him look African. That is his position in the same-sex marriage policy. The world is aware all over that Trump is against same-sex marriage, and that is the African perception. So generally, I believe that with the challenges he has faced and the January 2021 rioters in the Capitol that sincerely brought his name to disrepute, I am of the opinion that Donald Trump wants a chance to cleanse his name and put his name in gold. Taking from that direction, I'm sure that Trump's second tenure is going to be far digression from his first tenure policies. This time around, I feel that African nations are likely to benefit. But then if you look at the BRIC nations, where Nigeria recently became a member through partnership, there's also an issue there because Trump is somebody who's coming with a new perception to the African nations. But when an African nation partners with enemy nations, in quote, to the American presidency, the obvious Nigeria is also sparring or squaring up to face America when there are issues. Meanwhile, America is a global power politically and economically. So if America chooses to fight those Nigeria are partnered with in BRICS, that might make Nigerian voice to be unheard in global political decision in the BRIC nations. So that is something I think that Nigerian nation need to look at critically. If South Africa can be accepted as full membership of the BRICS nations, then what stops Nigeria from also vying for independent partnership? So that is something I think that our president and leaders of Nigeria should look at, because it's too early for Nigeria to be at loggerheads with the American government, knowing that Donald Trump is a die-hard fighter who never gives up.
Trump will always be Trump. From the perspective of a Nigerian who lives in diaspora, I see Trump as being very, very unbeneficial to us. He has made it very, very clear, times without number, that he doesn't like us. The only black people Donald Trump likes are those rich and famous black people. And I believe it's even superficial. So it's never going to be good for Africa. Because we, Africa, we like to go to America. Yes, it's a good place. People call it the greatest country on earth. Yeah, I believe so. But the policy of the American government, particularly Trump government, towards Africa is nothing to write home about. Even when our brother President Obama was there, he never came to Nigeria. We asked for helicopters, military helicopters. We have a military planes to fight Boko Haram. He refused, under the guise that the soldiers were maltreating civilians. But then again, Trump is going to be bad for Africans. But if you look at it totally, he might not be as bad as we think he is. If you remember correctly, it was Donald Trump that released those Tucano planes for us after Obama rejected it under flimsy guises. So, cutting him some slack here, I think he will do some good and he will do some bad. But by and large, Trump has anti-black in his DNA. If you remember, in the early 70s, Trump, the father, that's the father of this present president, and this president were fined for refusing to lend houses to black people in New York. They even went as far as saying that blacks working in their establishment should not be allowed to count their money. So it's very funny that some black men, misguided black men in America, voted for Trump in numbers because they said, oh, Trump gave them a check during the COVID era. Trump wrote the name on the check. Trump did not give them any check. The bill that enabled that money to be sent out was passed by a Democratic Congress led by Nancy Pelosi. Trump just delayed even the payment because he wanted to put his name on the check. So people say, oh, he talks like a mancho, he talks like a black guy. No, he's not a mancho. So I feel sorry for people who go with him because he's a con artist. What he did, if any other candidate does it, he won't progress beyond the first stage of the primaries. Well, I don't know, maybe it's different. So he's where he is because, I don't know, because I used to think that America were better than this. I thought the first coming of Trump was an aberration, that, oh, it was a mistake. But this one has shown that it's not a mistake. He is where the American people are. Trump will always be Trump. So in the second term, we should expect more of the worst, because there are no guardrails now.
With various response on the presidency of President Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America, the concerns and reactions are still ongoing.